to our channel Law and GK. On this channel, we discuss the contents of law and previous year papers of judiciary and other legal exams. In our previous videos, we have discussed the previous year paper of Haryana, Rajasthan, Uttarakhand, and in today's video, we will be discussing Delhi Judiciary previous year paper of 2018. If you are new to this channel, then I would like to recommend you to subscribe the channel by pressing the subscribe button, and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you can get the notification without any delay. Now, without any wasting of time, let's start with the question paper. Now you can see this type of question paper will come, and these are the general instructions given to the candidate. The exam will be of 2 hours and 30 minutes, and 15 minute time will be given you to read out the question paper, and there will be 200 type of objective questions, and there will also be a negative marking of 25%, and you have to mark the answers only with blue or black ballpoint pen, and here you will have to fill your roll number, application number, name and signature. Now let's come to the question number 1. A document claimed to be a will shall not be used as evidence until all the attesting witnesses have been called for the purpose of proving its execution. Option 2. All the attesting witnesses alive and subject to the process of the court and capable of giving evidence have been called for the purpose of proving its execution. Option 3. One attesting witness at least has been called for the purpose of proving its execution, if there be an attesting witness alive and subject to the process of the court and capable of giving evidence. And option 4, it has been registered in accordance with the provision of Indian Registration Act 1908. Well, the correct answer is option number 3, and it is mentioned in section 68 of Indian Evidence Act, which talks about proof of execution of document required by law to be attested. Next is question number 2. An attested document not required by law to be attested has to be necessarily proved by examining an attesting witness, may be proved as if it was unattested, is inadmissible in evidence, can only be proved by examining the executant. Well, this one is section 72 of Evidence Act, and here the right answer will be option 2, may be proved as if it was unattested. And what does section 72 talks about? It talks about proof of document not required by law to be attested. Now come to question number 3. For leading secondary evidence, moving an application seeking permission, therefore, immediately after admission, denial of documents and before framing of issues is essential. Option 2. An application seeking permission of the court is to be filed before commencement of the evidence of the party seeking to lead secondary evidence. Option 3. No application seeking permission of the court is necessary. Option 4. Application seeking permission, if not filed earlier, can be filed even after conclusion of the evidence. Well, this one is what? Section 65 of Evidence Act, secondary evidences, right? And according to that, right answer will be option number 3. No application seeking permission of the court is necessary for leading secondary evidence. Next is question number 4. In a suit to which the bank is not a party, the contents of the book of the bank can be proved by what? Right answer is option number 2. By tendering in evidence a copy of the said contents certified by the bank in terms of section 282A and 4 of the Bankers Book Evidence Act without compelling the presence as a witness of the officer of the bank. This one is actually a conceptual question, and some gist of it is mentioned in section 35 of Evidence Act plus section 5 of Bankers Book Evidence Act. And together with that, it is also mentioned in section 139 of Indian Evidence Act. It says that when a person is asked to produce a document, he does not become a witness and cannot be cross-examined, right? Okay, so according to that, the right answer is option number 2. Next is question number 5. The court has issued a commission for recording of evidence in a suit by appointing a local commissioner. The counsel for the plaintiff raises objection to certain questions put by the counsel for the defendant to witnesses of the plaintiff in cross-examination. The commissioner, right answer is option number 4, is required to record the said objections and ask the witness to answer the questions so objected to without prejudice to the plaintiff's right to have the said objection decided from the court at the time of final arguments in the suit. And it is mentioned where? Order 18, Rule 4, subsection 4 of CPC, sub rule 4 of CPC. Okay, and what does order 18 talks about? It talks about hearing of the suit and examination of witnesses. And order 14, rule 4, talks about recording of evidences. And its clause 4 talks about the commissioner may record such remarks as it thinks material respecting the demeanor of the witnesses while under examination, and its proviso is also mentioned there. So right answer is option number 4. Next is question number 6. Putting an exhibit mark on a document, option 1, disentitles either party to the suit from contending that the document is not to be read into evidence. Option 2, disentitles either party from contending at the stage of final arguments that the document should not be read into evidence unless such party had at the time of putting of exhibit mark raised objection to its admission into evidence and such objection was kept open for the decision. Option 3, does not ipso facto amount to admission of the document in evidence, especially if the document is per se not admissible into evidence. Option 4 is final as far as the suit court is concerned of the admission of the document into evidence. Well, this is a general principle in law of evidence, plus order 13 of CPC talks about it. So according to that, right answer is option number 3, does not ipso facto amount to admission of the document in evidence, especially if the document is per se not admissible into evidence. And what does order 13 of CPC talks about? It talks about production, impounding and return of documents. Next is question number 7. The court may presume, option 1, that a document creating an obligation is in the hands of obligator, the obligation has been discharged. Option 2, that an accomplice is unworthy of credit unless he is corroborated in material particulars. Next is option 3, and option 4 is all of the above. Option 3 is long enough, so you can read it yourself. Well, the whole question is related to section number 114 of Indian Evidence Act, and these all the options are basically illustration of that section. For example, option number 1 is illustration I, and option number 2 is illustration B, and next one, option number 3 is basically illustration E, C, F, G and H. So all these are illustrations. So right answer will be what? Option number 4, all of the above. Next is question number 8. The fact that any person was born during the continuance of a valid marriage between his mother and any man is a conclusive proof that he is the legitimate child of that man, is a conclusive proof that he is the legitimate child of that man, unless it is shown that the parties to the marriage had no access to each other at any time when the child could have been begotten. Well, the right answer is option number 2. And it is mentioned where? It is mentioned under section 112 of Indian Evidence Act. Legitimacy is mentioned where? Under section 16 of Hindu Marriage Act, which says that legitimacy of children of void and voidable marriage. Next one is question number 9, is estoppel. Estoppel is mentioned where? Section 115 of Indian Evidence Act. Options is an equitable principle, is a rule of common law, is a principle evolved by judicial pronouncement, or option 4 is codified in Indian law. Well, it is mentioned in section 115, so definitely it is a codified. So right answer is option number 4, it is codified in Indian law. Next is question number 10. A party to a suit can prove a fact in issue by examining one witness only in proof thereof. Option number 2, by examining not more than 3 witnesses in proof thereof. Option number 3, by examining any number of witnesses in proof thereof, unless the court is satisfied that the examination of any particular witness is not relevant and is intent to delay the trial. And option number 4, by examining any number of witnesses in proof thereof, and the court cannot limit the number of witnesses sought to be examined. The right answer is option number 3. And it is mentioned where? Section 134 of Indian Evidence Act. And section 34 talks about what? Number of witnesses. Next is question number 11. During the continuance of possession of immovable property, the person in possession is stopped from denying the title to such immovable property of the person who put him in such possession if the possession is as a tenant or is as a licensee. Option 3, the person is in possession is in unauthorized occupation, or option 4, both 1 and 2. Well, this question is related to section 116 of Indian Evidence Act, and it is mentioned there that the possession as a tenant and as well as licensee. The right answer becomes option number 4, both 1 and 2. Next is question number 12. Limitation for claiming compensation for defamation. It is mentioned where? Article 75 of Limitation Act. And according to that article, the right answer should be option number 3. 1 year from the date when the libel is published. Next is question number 13. Limitation for a suit for compensation for inducing the person to break a contract with the plaintiff. Well, this is what? Article 78 of Limitation Act. And according to that, the limitation period is how much? Is of 1 year from the date of breach. Next is question number 14. In computing the period of limitation for any suit, once the time has begun to run, then no subsequent disability or inability to institute the suit stops it. The right answer is option number 1 only, and it is mentioned where? Section 9 of Limitation Act says that. Next is question number 15. Delay in institution can be condoned under Section 5 of Limitation Act in respect of what? Well, Section 5 relates to appeals and applications. So the right answer is option number 2. Next is question number 16. The limitation available in law to A for instituting a suit at Delhi for recovery of money against B is till 1st December 2018. A dies intestate on 1st November 2018, leaving a widow, an adult son, adult daughter and a minor son who amicably inherit the entire estate of A. So option number 1, the widow and the children of any of them can on or before 1st December 2018 institute the suit for recovery of money owed by B to A. The right answer is option number 1 only. Okay, so no need to read out the other options, and it is basically conceptual question. Next is question number 17. A bank has loaned money to B on 2nd January 2015, right? The limitation available to the bank for suing for the recovery of said monies from B. Recovery of monies from B. It is what? Article 19 of Limitation Act. And the right answer will be 3 years from that date, and the right answer becomes 1st January 2018. Next is question number 18. A has within the prescribed period of limitation sued B for recovery of debt owed by B to A. The suit remains pending. After 9 years of institution of suit, A assigns the debt for recovery of which the suit was filed to C. C, after nearly 1 year of assignment, applies in the suit for substitution in place of A. The option 1, the application for substitution is barred by time. The application for substitution does not lie as C is not the heir of A. C as an assignee of A has the right to be substituted and no limitation is prescribed for seeking substitution. And option 4, the suit will be dismissed as A has lost the right to recover the loaned amount. Well, question number 18 is also a conceptual question, and it is related to Section 21 Limitation Act. And there are certain exceptions to that section, and assignment and transposition are some of the exceptions of that section. And option number 3, if we see the option number 3, then this is also assignment here. So this is an exception to that section. Right answer is option number 3. And there is no limitation prescribed for seeking substitution. Next is question number 19. A on the 9th January 2015 agrees to sell immovable property to B. This is very long question. You can pause the video and see the whole question. I will read out its option and the right answer only. The right answer here will be option number 2, with effect from 9 July 2015. When the balance payment is given, from that only the time will be started, calculated. Next is question number 20. A counterclaim for the purposes of Limitation Act is deemed to have been instituted. Option A, on the same day as the suit in which the counterclaim is made has been filed. Option 2, on the day on which the counterclaim is made. Option 3, either 1 or 2, whichever is beneficial to defendant or whichever is beneficial to plaintiff. Option 4. Well, this question is what? Is related to Section 3 of Limitation Act. In Section 3 also, it is particularly clause 2, subclause B of that section, which says that counterclaim should filed on the day on which counterclaim is made. The right answer is option number 2. Next is question number 21. The right to access or use of light or air shall be absolute and indefeasible where the access and use of light or air to and for any building have been peacefully enjoyed therewith as an easement and as of right without interruption for how much years? This question is related to which section? Section 25 of Limitation Act. Easementary rights, and the years prescribed in that section is how much years? 20 years. The right answer is option number 4, 20 years. Next is question number 22. A suit filed on the day next to the last date of limitation for filing thereof will not be barred by time if the plaintiff was outside India on the last day of limitation. Option 2. If the plaintiff was unwell and suffering from viral fever on the last date. Option 3. If the court was closed for half an hour on the last date of limitation. Option 4. If the advocate for the plaintiff forgot to file plaint on the last date of limitation. Right answer is option number 3. Court was closed, and it is mentioned where? It is mentioned in section 4 of Limitation Act, when the court is closed on the last date of limitation. Next one is question number 23. The share or interest of a partner in a partnership having immovable property is, if the partner in the partnership firm has immovable property, then his share is what? Movable property. The right answer here is option number 1, movable property. Now come to the next question, question number 24. A minor acting through a guardian can be inducted as a partner of the firm, can be admitted to the benefit of the partnership with personal liability, can be admitted to the benefit of the partnership without personal liability, or option 4, cannot be admitted to the benefit of partnership. Well, section 30 of Partnership Act talks about a minor, and according to that section, a minor can be admitted to the benefit of the partnership without any personal liability. The right answer is option number 3. Next is question number 25. A partnership firm situated in Delhi institutes a suit for recovery of price of goods sold, supplied and delivered by the said firm to the defendant. The firm is not registered under Partnership Act. Not registered. So option number 1, the suit is not maintainable and the plaint will be rejected. So we will not read out the other sections because the right answer is option number 1 only. The suit is not maintainable because the firm is not registered under the act, right? And it is mentioned where? It is mentioned under section 69 of the Partnership Act. Next is question number 26. General English questions. Question number 26. The blanks in the following sentences can be most appropriately filled with. I will not read out the options here. I will give the answers with the question only. So the option first. After many days of deliberation, the jury has finally returned with the verdict. Neither the minister nor his aide is expected to speak to the press today. Each of the students in the class, here each is mentioned, so the form will be singular. Each of the students in the class is expected to give a presentation next week. And fourth one is, although Matthew and John have established themselves as a successful businessmen, neither was born into a wealthy family. So according to that, the right option will be option number 3. Next is question 27. Planned obsolescence, a practice whereby products are designed to have a limited period of usefulness, has been a cornerstone of manufacturing strategy for the past 50 years. In the above sentence, obsolescence means what? Obsolescence means the process of becoming outdated. Option number 1 is the right answer. Next is question 28. A dispute arose, now 2 persons, so the term we use will be between, and if more than 2 persons, then the term used should be among. So dispute arose between the shopkeeper and the customer. The 4 sisters quarreled among themselves. The book was kept on the table beside the bed. So right answer should be option number 4, between, among, beside. Next is question number 29. Flog a dead horse means what? It means waste efforts on something where there is no chance of succeeding. Right answer is option number 3. Next question, question 30. Although Lily was a tractable young woman, she had a streak of defiance. In the above sentence, tractable is closest in meaning to what? Malleable. Right answer is option number 1, malleable. And what is the meaning of malleable or tractable? It means a person who can be easily influenced. Next is question number 31. Achilles heel means what? It means a weak point. Right answer is option number 2, a weak point. Next is question number 32. Choose the correct spelling. So spelling mistake is there in the options. So I will give the right answers only. Abstinence. Here the right spelling is option number 2, abstinence. What is the meaning of abstinence? It is act or practice of refraining from, indulging and. Question 33. The right spelling is option number 4, assessment. What is the meaning of assessment? Assessment means appraisal. Question number 34. Connoisseur. Option 1. What is the meaning of connoisseur? Connoisseur is an expert able to appreciate a field. And field can be of what type? Especially in fine arts. Next is question 35. The right answer is embarrassing, option 2. So what is the meaning of embarrassing? It is unpleasant, hard, difficult, unenviable, causing to feel shame, right? Next is question 36. Homogeneity. The right answer is option 1, homogeneity. What is the meaning of homogeneity? The quality of being similar or comparable in kind or nature. Something which is homogeneous. So homogeneity is derived from the word homogeneous only. Something being similar or comparable. Next is 37. The right answer is option 3, indiscriminate. Means general or wholesale or not marked by fine distinctions. Means there is no type of discrimination. Next is question 38. Surveillance. The right answer is option number 3, surveillance. Next is question 39. Indigenous. The right spelling is option number 1, indigenous. What is the meaning of indigenous? Indigenous person. Sometimes we say na, indigenous person means what? A native person. Originating where it is found. Question number 40. The right spelling is what? Which option? Option number 1, susceptible. What is the meaning of susceptible? It is something which is allergic or amenable, capable, convincible. Basically, it is yielding readily to or capable of. Easily impressed emotionally. Next is question 41. Supersede. The spelling, right spelling is option number 3, supersede. What is the meaning of supersede? Supersede means replace, supervene, take the place or move into a position. Next is question 42. His research methods often attract what? Suspicion. Suspicion. The right spelling of suspicion is option number 2. Suspicion to shak karna. Next is question number 43. His political visage is a dash. Is a charade. Option number 2, charade. Charade means making a false outward show. 44. Fill in the blank with the most appropriate word. The forces of dash seek the most efficient means to suppress. Hegemony. Hegemony, the right spelling is option number 3, hegemony. Hegemony is dominance or leadership of one social group or nation over the others. Next is question 45. Fill in the blanks with the most appropriate word. The leader's speech was a dash expression of his intellectual vision. Question 45. The leader's speech was a dash expression of his intellectual vision. The right option should be option number 3, succinct. And what is the meaning of succinct? It is compact, basically. Summarize karna kisi cheez. Next is question number 46. Fill in the blanks with the most appropriate word. Music is often therapeutic. Therapeutic की spelling कौन सी है? Option number 1. What is the meaning of therapeutic? It is relating to or involved in some kind of therapy. Tending to cure or restore to health. Relating to some kind of therapy. Healing, remedial. Next is question 47. Which provision of constitution recognizes the right of an accused to remain silent? Right of an accused. Article 20. Option number 3. Next is question 48. Who decides in parliament whether a bill is a money bill or not? Well, this is decided by a Speaker of the Lok Sabha. The right answer is option number 1, Speaker of the Lok Sabha, and it is mentioned where? In Article 110 clause 3 of Indian Constitution. Speaker of the Lok Sabha decides whether a bill is a money bill or not. Next is question number 49. The goods and services tax was introduced by option 1, insertion of Article 246A by the Constitution 101st Amendment of 2016. The right answer is option number 1 only, so no need to read out the other options. Next is question number 50. Public order and police fall in which list of in the 7th schedule of the Constitution? It falls in state list, right? Next is question number 51. The Union Territory of Delhi came to be called the National Capital Territory of Delhi by virtue of option 1 amendment to Article 239 of Constitution, option 2 by insertion of Article 239AA in the Constitution, option 3 by appointing a governor, or option 4 none of the above. Well, Article 239AA in the Constitution talks about the National Capital Territory of Delhi. The right answer is option number 2 only by insertion of this article. Next is question 52. Control over the subordinate courts, including posting and promotion of persons belonging to judicial services, vests with the state government, central government, President of India, or High Court. The right answer is option 4, High Court, and mentioned where? Article 235 of Indian Constitution. Next is question number 53. Challenge to a judgment passed by a division bench of the High Court upholding a decree for the partition is maintainable. Option 1 as a civil appeal to the Supreme Court, option 2 as a special leave petition to the Supreme Court, option 3 as a reference to the Supreme Court, or option 4 only if the division bench gives a certificate of appeal. The right answer is option number 2 as a special leave petition to the Supreme Court. Next is question number 54. Right to privacy is a part of fundamental right. Under which article? 14, 21, 32 or 19? Under Article 21. Right to life and liberty and right to privacy is the part of that article only. So right answer is option number 2. Next is question number 55. If any person is dispossessed of immovable property without his consent otherwise then in due course of law, he may by a suit recover the possession thereof, notwithstanding any other title that may be set up in such suit within a period of how much time? Option 1 6 months from the date of dispossession, option 2 3 months, option 3 1 year, or option 4 3 years from the date of dispossession. Well, this one is talked in section 6(2)(a) of SRA, which talks about dispossession, and the right answer according to that section is 6 months. Is mentioned in that section that 6 months from the dispossession. Next is question number 56. Where a decree for a specific performance of a contract for the sale of immovable property has been made and the purchaser within the period allowed by the court does not pay the purchase money which the court has ordered to him to pay, then the vendor may apply in the same suit in which the decree is made to have the contract rescinded. Option 2. The purchaser may apply in the same suit in which the decree is made to have the contract rescinded and for a direction to the vendor to refund the earnest money advance consideration received till then along with the cost of the suit, or option 3 the vendor can forfeit the earnest money, or option 4 the vendor has to file a fresh suit for recovery of the purchase money. This is what? Section 28 of SRA, and this is particularly section 28 subsection 1, and which says that the vendor may apply in the same suit only in which the decree is made that the contract has to be rescinded. Next is question number 57. An injunction cannot be granted to restrain any person from instituting or prosecuting any proceeding in a court not subordinate to that from which the injunction is sought. Well, we will not read out the other options because the right answer is option number 1 only, and it is mentioned where? Section 41B of SRA, right? Next is question number 58. The principle enshrined in Specific Relief Act qua injunctions are not applicable to temporary injunction under Order 39 of CPC. Order 39 talks about temporary injunctions and interlocutory ones, right? The said statement is correct, not correct, misleading, or merely a belief. So, well, this is discussed in section 37 of SRA, which says that injunctions regulated by CPC. So, this statement is not correct. Right answer is option number 2. Next is question number 59. A defendant in a suit for recovery of possession of immovable property can take the plea of lawful entitle and is in the alternative plea of adverse possession, or cannot take the plea. Well, the defendant cannot take the plea of lawful entitle and in alternative the plea of adverse possession, as the two are antithetical to each other. Next is question 60. For granting specific performance of a contract for the construction of any building, the following conditions have to be fulfilled. So conditions are given where? In section 14 of SRA, right? And what conditions are mentioned there? Option 1, the building is described in the contract in terms sufficiently precise to enable the court to determine the exact nature of the building. Option 2, the plaintiff has sufficient interest in the performance of the contract and the interest is of such a nature that compensation in money for non-performance of the contract is not an adequate relief. So non-performance of contract and compensation is not an adequate relief. Correct. Option 3, the defendant has, in pursuance to the contract, has obtained possession of any of the whole or any part of land on which the building is to be constructed. So obtained possession, right? So right answer is what? Option number 4, all of the above. Next is question number 61. A court is empowered to grant injunction to perform the negative agreement where the contract comprises an affirmative agreement to do a certain act coupled with a negative agreement not to do a certain act. Option 2, in all cases where a contract comprises an affirmative agreement to do a certain act. Option 3, only in the case of contracts of musical performance. Option 4, only in the case of contracts of stage performance, musical or theatrical. The right answer is what? Option number 1, where the contract comprises an affirmative agreement to do certain act coupled with a negative agreement not to do certain act. And it is mentioned where? Section 42 of SRA. Next is question 62. In a suit for specific performance of a contract, the plaintiff has not claimed compensation for the breach in substitution of such performance. The court concludes that though the defendant is in the breach, but the discretion implicit in the grant of relief of specific performance be not exercised in favor of plaintiff. The court in such a situation will do what? In the absence of a claim in the plaintiff for the compensation, cannot award such compensation to plaintiff. Option 2, notwithstanding the plaintiff having not claimed the compensation is empowered to award such compensation to the plaintiff as may be deemed appropriate. Option 3, notwithstanding the plaintiff having not claimed the compensation is empowered to award compensation to the plaintiff if the plaintiff has led any evidence qua compensation. Or option 4, notwithstanding the plaintiff having not claimed compensation and having not led evidence is required to give an opportunity to the plaintiff to lead evidence qua compensation. The right answer is what? Option number 1 only. And it is mentioned where? Section 21 of SRA. That in the absence of a claim in the plaint, compensation cannot be awarded. Next question is 63. An agency is terminated by the principal revoking the authority of the agent, by the agent renouncing the business of agency, by the death of the principal or agent, or all of the above. Termination of agency is discussed where? Section 201 of Indian Contract Act. Right, and this section gives certain conditions that in which cases the agency is to be terminated. According to that section, an agency is terminated by the principal revoking his authority. So option 1, principal revoking the authority. Next, or by the agent renouncing the business of the agency. Option 2, renouncing the business of agency. Or by the business of the agency being completed. Or either by the principal or agent dying or becoming of unsound mind. Or by the principal being adjudicated as an insolvent under the provisions of any act for the time being in force for the relief of insolvent debtors. So death is also a condition there. So all these 3 options are mentioned in this section. So right answer is option number 4. Next is question number 64. Which of the following contracts cannot be specifically enforced? A contract which is so dependent on the personal qualifications of the parties that the court cannot enforce specific performance of its material terms. A contract which is in its nature determinable. Option 3, where a party to the contract has obtained substituted performance of the contract. Or option 4, all of the above. So the right answer here is all of the above. And it is mentioned where? Section 14 of SRA, which says what? That which contracts are not specifically enforceable. So all these terms are mentioned in section 14. You can read it out there. Next is question number 65. The act of submission of a tender is option 1, an act of making an offer pursuant to the notice of inviting tender. Well, the right answer is option number 1 only. Next is question 66. When consent to an agreement is caused by coercion, fraud or misrepresentation, the agreement becomes what? Option A, agreement is not a contract. Option 2, the agreement is a contract voidable at the option of the party whose consent was so caused. Option 3, the agreement is a contract voidable at the option of the other party. Option 4, the agreement is binding contract between the parties. The right answer is option number 2. The agreement is a contract voidable at the option of the party whose consent was so caused. Next is question 67. If the parties to an agreement are under a mistake as to the matter of the fact essential to the agreement is void. Option number 1 only. And mistake, which section talks about it? Section 20 of Indian Contract Act. Next is question 68. An agreement without consideration is void unless it is expressed in writing. Option 2, it is expressed in writing and registered under the law for the time being in force for registration of documents. Option 3, expressed in writing and registered under the law for the time being in force for registration of documents and is made on the account of natural love and affection between the parties standing in a near relation to each other. Well, the 25, that agreement without consideration is void and certain conditions are given there. The right answer is option number 3, because the other conditions are given in option number 3 only, right? Next is question number 69. X on 1st July 2018 agrees to sell his house to Y for a price of rupees 1 crore. If the entire price is paid on or before 31st July 2018 and for the price of rupees 1 crore 25 lakhs after 1st or 31st July 2018 but before 30th September 2018. It was further agreed that if the entire price is not paid by the 30th September of the same year, Y shall not be entitled to purchase the house and the earnest money paid by Y to X shall stand forfeited. Such an agreement is it void for uncertainty? Is void because the meaning of it is not certain on account of being by the way of wager. Option 3 is enforceable in law and option 4 none of the above. Well, the right answer here is option number 3 is enforceable by law and there is no question of uncertainty here, right? So right answer is option 3 only. Next is question number 70. Again a conceptual question. X and Y jointly take a loan from Z with a promise to repay the loan amount with interest within 2 years. Soon after taking the loan, X is declared insolvent and remains insolvent till the date of repayment of loan. Y also fails to repay the loan. X, on the account of his status as insolvent, enjoys immunity from legal proceedings. In these circumstances, option A, Z can in law institute a suit for recovery of only 50% of the outstanding from Y. Z is entitled in law to sue Y alone for the recovery of entire outstanding amount. Z is not entitled to sue Y also for recovery of loan amount till the order of insolvency of X ceases to operate. Or option 4, Z is entitled in law to sue Y for 50% of the principal amount due and entire interest outstanding. This is basically mentioned where? Section 42 and 43 of Indian Contract Act. And what does 42 and 43 talks about? These are devolution of joint liabilities, and 43 says any one of joint promisors may be compelled to perform. Each promisor may compel contribution share of loss by default in contribution, right? And illustration A of the same section 43 is some kind of similar illustration with this example. The right answer here is option number 2. Next one, again conceptual question. X and Y jointly take loan from Z, promise to repay the same with interest within 2 years, loan not repaid. Z releases X from liability and institute a suit for recovery of the entire amount due from Y alone. Z in law is entitled to recover the entire outstanding amount from Y. The answer is option number 1 only, and this relates to which section? Section 44 of Contract Act, which says effect of release of one joint promisor. Next is question number 72. Now basic GK questions have started. Question 72. Which state government has launched Budhar portal to make land records accessible to people? Which state has done that? Karnataka, Assam, Odisha or Andhra Pradesh? Right answer is option 4, Andhra Pradesh. Next is question number 73. Which of the following Indian cities has been selected by UN for the Global Sustainable Cities 2025 initiative? Right answer is option 2, Noida and Greater Noida. Next is question number 74. Which of the following has been inscribed on the representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity in 2017? Kumbh Mela, Chhau dance, Buddhist chanting in Ladakh and Vedic chanting, and all of the above. Right answer is Kumbh Mela. Question number 75. Who was named the person of the year 2018 by Time 2018? The right answer is option number 3, Jamal Khashoggi. This was the year 2018 paper, right? So now if the question is asked that person of the year of 2021, who is the person of the year according to Time magazine? It is Elon Musk. Next is question number 76. Which river does the Statue of Unity face? Statue of Unity is of whom? Vallabhbhai Patel, right? And it is situated on which river? Narmada river. And where? State is Gujarat and city is Ahmedabad. Question number 77. In whose honor was a commemorative coin of worth rupees 100 released recently? Recently means it is talked of 2018. So right answer was Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Next is question number 78. Swaraj Dweep is the name of whom? Swaraj Dweep is the name of Havelock Island. And it is where? In Andaman Islands. It is part of Andaman Islands. Next is question number 79. Which is the first country in Southeast Asia to legalize the use of marijuana medically? Medically, marijuana is legalized in Thailand. Option number 2. Next is question number 80. Which author has been awarded the Jnanpith Award 2018? The award was of 2018. So in that year the right answer was Amitav Ghosh. But in 2021 this award is given to whom? This award is given to Damodar Mauzo. And in 2020 it was given to Nilmani Phukan Jr. Right? And this year the award number is 57th award. Next is question number 81. With whom would you associate the thinker, a sculpture cast in bronze? The thinker is whom? Option number 3, August Rodin. Next is question number 82. With which dance form will you associate the dancer Yamini Krishnamurthy? Yamini Krishnamurthy is famous for Bharatnatyam and Kuchipudi. Option number 3. Next is question number 83. For which disciplines did Madame Curie win the Nobel Prize twice? Option number 3. One in physics and one for chemistry. Question number 84. In which ocean is Madagascar located? Madagascar is located in whether Atlantic, Indian, Pacific or Arctic. It is located in Indian Ocean. Next is question number 85. Which two rivers have their confluence at Rudraprayag in Uttarakhand? It is option number 1, Alaknanda and Mandakini. Both are the part of Ganga river. Okay, these names are associated with Ganga river. Next is question number 86. Which subatomic particle is referred to as the God particle? Electron, Higgs boson, quark or neutrino? The right answer is option number 2, Higgs boson. Next is question number 87. The Great Bath of Indus Valley Civilization was discovered in where? Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Lothal or Dholavira? The right answer is option number 1, Mohenjo-daro. Next is question number 88. The Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer Award for 2018 has been awarded to whom? It was in 2018 the award was given to Keshwanand Bharti. Next is question number 89. In the Sabarimala judgment, which judge of the Supreme Court held that it is not for courts to decide what is essential religious practice and dissented from the majority view? Answer is option number 2, Justice Indu Malhotra. Next is question number 90. What services continues to have to be mandatorily linked with the Aadhaar card as per the judgment in K.S. Puttaswamy versus Union of India dated 26 September 2018? It was related to PAN card. Option 3. 91. A bench of how many judges of Supreme Court passed the judgment in Navtej Singh Johar versus Union of India case? 5 judges bench. Option number 2. Next is question 92. Justice Thotahill B. Radhakrishna was sworn in as the Chief Justice of which court? Telangana High Court. Option number 2. Question 93. The Supreme Court is open for general public on which day? On Saturday. Next is question number 94. Which judge of the Supreme Court gave a dissenting opinion in the Bhima Koregaon SIT probe case? Which judge? Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, option number 1. Next is question number 95. In Joseph Shine versus Union of India, the Supreme Court struck down which provision as being unconstitutional? Which provision was struck in that case? Right answer is option number 4, section 497 of Indian Penal Code. Next is question 96. Swapnil Tripathi and others versus Union of India, the Supreme Court allowed live streaming of what kind of matters? All public interest litigation, all cases except criminal cases, all cases of constitutional importance, or none of the above. Right answer is option number 3, constitutional importance cases. Next is question number 97. The draft data protection bill was drafted by which committee? Justice Shri Krishna committee. Option number 1 is the right answer. Next is question number 98. Which commodity is exempt from goods and services tax? It is contraceptive and sanitary napkins. Both are the right answer. So right answer is option number 3, both 1 and 2. Next is question 99. In Government of NCT of Delhi versus Union of India, the Supreme Court held as under LG is bound by the aid and advice of the Government of NCT of Delhi in areas other than those exempted. Option number 3 is the right answer. Next is question number 100. Foreign law firms, companies and lawyers cannot practice profession of law in India but can advise their clients in India once a month, thrice a year on a fly-in and fly-out basis and none of the above. Well, this was given in case Bar Council of India versus A.K. Balaji and others 2018. There was a case, and in that case it was decided that they can give advice to their clients on a fly-in and fly-out basis. Case was Bar Council of India versus A.K. Balaji and others 2018. Next is question number 101. In the Hadia case, the Supreme Court held that right to marry a person of one's own choice is integral to which article of the Constitution of India? What is the full name of this case? Shafeen Jahan versus Asokan and others. It was basically love jihad case. So which article is related to that case? Article 21. And what is article 21? It is protection of life and personal liberty. And article 19, in article 19 all the citizens are given some rights. For example, right to freedom of speech and expression, assemble peacefully and without arms, form association or unions, move freely throughout the territory, right? And article 14, right to equality. And 25 is what? Freedom of conscience, freedom to profess, practice and propagate religion to all citizens. Come to next question, question number 102. A constitution bench of Supreme Court, while holding that parliamentary committee reports can be relied on in a court, also observed that they can be used for the purpose of interpretation of a statutory provision. They are admissible under section 74 of Evidence Act. The report cannot be impeached or challenged in court, or all of the above. Well, all these options are correct and the right answer is option number 4. And this is basically which case? It is Kalpana Mehta and others versus Union of India, and year was 2018's case, राइट उसमें ये सारी बातें कही गई हैं पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी रिपोर्ट्स के बारे में. नेक्स्ट इज क्वेश्चन नंबर 103. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग सेक्शंस इन द इंडियन पिनल कोड वाज डील्ड विद इन द जजमेंट ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट इन नवतेज सिंह जौहर वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया? राइट आंसर इज ऑप्शन नंबर 2, 377. And what is 377? Unnatural offences. Unnatural offences. And what is 376? It is basically punishment for rape. And what is 420? It is cheating and dishonestly inducing delivery of property. And 302 is what? Punishment for murder. Next is question number 104. The only floating national park in the world is located where? Is located in Manipur. Right answer is option number 2. Next is 105. Amnesty International has its headquarters where? Its headquarters are in London. Next is question 106. The issue whether section 497 IPC is violative of article 14 and 15 of the Constitution was decided by Supreme Court for the first time in which case? Well, 497 is what? It is related to adultery, right? The case was Yusuf Abdul Aziz versus State of Bombay. Right answer is option number 1. Next is question number 107. The Supreme Court in 2018 observed that every attempt should be made by all the courts not to disclose the identity of the victim in terms of section 228A IPC in the case of Which case was it? It was Lalit Yadav versus State of Chhattisgarh, option number 1. Next is question number 108. The Supreme Court in Sher Singh Pratapa versus State of Haryana held that the prosecution can discharge the initial burden to prove the ingredients of which of the following sections of IPC even by preponderance of probabilities. Which section of IPC? Section 304B, dowry death. Right answer is option number 4, dowry death. And what is section 500? It is punishment for defamation, right? And 498A is cruelty. And 489 is tampering with property mark with intent to cause injury. Come to next question. 109. The Supreme Court in 2017 read down exception 2 to section 375 IPC to be meaningfully read as a sexual intercourse or a sexual act by a man with his own wife. The wife not being under age of 18 years of age is not rape. This was held in which case? Option number 1, Independent Thought versus Union of India. Come to next question, question 110. The Supreme Court in 2015 had laid down that an amendment to a criminal complaint to cure simple infirmity curable by means of a formal amendment not causing any prejudice to other side is permissible even though there is no specific provision in CRPC to amend a complaint filed under CRPC in the case of, which was the case? Right answer option number 3, S.R. Sukumar versus S. Sunad Raghuram. Next is question number 111. A instigates B to instigate C to secretly bury the dead body of C's baby in order to conceal the birth of the child. B instigates C in the consequence thereof. C refuses to do the needful. In such a situation, which of the following denotes the correct position? A has committed no offense, B has committed an offense, B has committed no offense, or option 4, both 1 and 3. Well, if we see section 108 of IPC, which is a better. So in the last of that sections, there is one illustration is also given to explanation 4, which is similar to this question, which says that A instigate B to instigate C to murder Z. So according to that illustration, here A is also guilty for committing the offense of abatement, but it is not given in the option here. So the right answer here will be only option 2. Otherwise, A is also the guilty of abatement. Next question, question number 112. The maximum period of solitary confinement provided in section 73. 73 is solitary confinement. So how much period is that? Maximum period of 3 months. Option number 3. 113. An act resulting in a death done with the knowledge of its very serious consequence does not by itself become murder under clause 4 of section 300 IPC. It must further be shown that option 1, the accused had some knowledge about the fact that it will cause death, or option 2, even though the accused knew the consequences, he did the act without any excuse for incurring the risk of causing death. Option 3, the accused had no valid excuse for the act done by him. Option 4, his intention was to kill the victim as the victim had certain qualities which were against the norms of the society. The right answer is what? Option number 2, that even though the accused knew about the consequences, he did the act without any excuse for incurring risk of causing death. Next question, question number 114. Dislodging a tooth by a fist blow is an offense punishable under which section? Section 325 of IPC, and it is what? Punishment for causing a grievous hurt. It is an example of grievous hurt, right? And what is section 323? It is punishment for voluntary causing hurt. And 324 is what? Voluntary causing hurt by dangerous weapons or means. And 326 is voluntary causing grievous hurt by dangerous weapons or means. Next question, 115. Theft is committed when? Option 1, the moment one takes in possession another's property. Option 2, there is a moving of a property out of possession of another without his consent. Option 3, there is a dishonest taking of any immovable property out of the possession of another, or none of the above. Well, right answer is option number 3. There should be dishonest taking of movable property out of possession of other person. Come to next question, 116. The offense of voyeurism is punishable under which section of IPC? 354C of IPC. Option 3. And what is option A? It talks about what? It is sexual harassment and punishment for it. And 354 is what? Assault or use of criminal force to a woman with intent to disrobe. And 354D is stalking. 117. A, for the sake of B, his insane son, gives consent for an open heart surgery, which surgeon informs is essential to save B's life. Knowing that the operation will likely to cause the death of B but not intending to do so, A falls in which of the general exceptions? He falls in exception of section 89, which is what? Act done in good faith for the benefit of the child or insane person. So here is the case of insane son. And what is section 88? 88 is act done in good faith for the person's benefit. And 87 is what? Act done where consent is there, and act done in accordance to that consent. And 86 is what? Offense requiring a particular intent or knowledge committed by one who is intoxicated. So this one is intoxication. Come to next question 118. Which of the following statements is incorrect? So I will not read out the options. The incorrect statement is option number 3. Other statements are correct only, and you can read out these sections. So incorrect one is to attract the offense under section 149. Some overt act on the part of a member of unlawful assembly is necessary to render him liable under section 149 of IPC. This one is wrong. And what is section 149? 149 of IPC. It talks about every member of unlawful assembly guilty of offense committed in prosecution of common object. Next is question number 119. Which of the following is an offense under IPC? Keeping an office for the purpose of drawing any lottery, not being a state lottery. Yes, it is an offense, and it is mentioned where? Under section 294A. And option 2, receiving profits from a business which the person knows is for making obscene books to be sold. It is what? 292C. And selling an obscene object to a person aged 19 years. It is offense in section 293. So right answer is what? Option number 4. All of the above are offenses under IPC. 120. A commits theft on property in B's possession, and while committing this theft, he has a loaded pistol under his garment, having provided this pistol for the purpose of hurting B. In case B should resist, A has committed offense. What offense? Under which section? He has committed offense under section 382, which talks about what? Theft after preparation made for causing death, hurt or restraint in order to commit theft. So he has done all these acts, committed theft and preparation because he has a loaded pistol. So he has committed an offense under section 382. And what is section 392? It has punishment for robbery. And 397 is what? It is a robbery or dacoity with the attempt to cause death or grievous hurt. And section 379 is what? Punishment for theft. And where is theft? Section 378. 121. Stolen property under section 410 of IPC includes what? It includes property which has been criminally misappropriated, right? It has property in respect of which criminal breach of trust has been committed, correct? Option 3, property the possession whereof has been transferred by robbery. बिल्कुल ठीक है. The right answer is what? Option number 4, stolen property, section 410. All these things are mentioned there in that section. Question number 122. Good faith defined where? Section 52 of IPC means what? An actual belief that the act done is not contrary to any law in force, or act done honestly, or act done under bona fide belief, or act done with due care and attention. Well, the definition of IPC says that any act done with due care and attention is done in good faith. Right answer is option number 4. Next is question number 123. A, the landlord, knowing of the commission of a murder within the limits of his estate, willfully misinforms the magistrate of the district that the death has occurred because of an asthma attack followed with an attack of epilepsy. In such a situation, A is liable for what? Whether liable for no offense or liable for the offense punishable under 177 IPC, liable for the offense punishable under 193, or liable for the offense punishable under 196. The right answer is option number 2, liable for the offense punishable under 177. And what is 177? Furnishing false information. Furnishing false information. And what is 193? 193 of IPC. It is punishment for false evidence. So don't get confused. 177 is false information furnish karna, and 193 is punishment for false evidence. And what is 196? 196 is using evidence known to be false. This is basically illustration A of section 177 of IPC. Next, 124. Lawful guardian in the context of offense of kidnapping under section 361 is includes whom? Only parents, only blood relatives, or any person lawfully entrusted with care or custody of the minor, or none of the above. Lawful guardian is explained under explanation of section 361, and according to that explanation the right answer should be option number 3, any person lawfully entrusted with care or custody of the minor. Come to next question 125. Which of the following proposition relating to euthanasia was laid down by Supreme Court in 2018 in the case of Common Cause versus Union of India? Option 1. An adult human being having mental capacity to take an informed decision has a right to refuse medical treatment, including withdrawal from life saving devices. The right answer is option number 1 only, so no need to read out other options. Come to next question 126. Under section 468 of CRPC, the period of limitation for an offence punishable with a term not exceeding 1 year is how much time? Is right answer is option number 2, 1 year. 127. Which section of CRPC directs for free treatment to victims of sexual offence? Section 357C. Free treatment to victims of sexual offence. And what is section 357? It is order to pay compensation, and 359 is order to pay costs in non-cognizable cases, and 357B is compensation in addition to fine under section 326A or 376D of IPC. Question number 128. The Supreme Court in the case of Lalitha Kumari held that while ensuring and protecting the rights of an accused and the complainant, a preliminary inquiry should be made in a time-bound manner, and in any case it should not exceed how much period? 7 days. And it is mentioned in that case only. And the full name of the case is Lalitha Kumari versus Government of UP 2013. 129. An accused is entitled to statutory bail, default bail, if the police fails to file the charge sheet within how many days of his arrest for the offence punishable with imprisonment up to 10 years. Up to 10 years, then the right answer should be 60 days. And if it was more than 10 years, or case of death or life imprisonment, or more than 10 years, then the days should be 90 days. And it is mentioned where? Section 167 of CRPC, which is procedure when investigation cannot be completed within 24 hours. And particularly 60 days is mentioned in section 167 subsection 2A. Come to question number 130. Which of the following statements is incorrect? Incorrect. Option 1. A is an accused of theft of certain articles at a certain time and place. The charge need not to set out the manner in which theft was effected. Yes, this is correct. This is actually an illustration of section 213. And which illustration? Illustration A. So it is correct statement. Come to next. Option 2. A is an accused of disobeying a direction of the law with intent to save B from punishment. The charge must set out for the disobedience charge and the law infringed. It is illustration F of the same section. And option 3. The charge can be altered even after final arguments but before the judgment is pronounced. Well, this one is what? Section 216 of a CRPC 216. So right answer is option number 4. A is an accused of cheating B at a given time and place. The charge need not set out the manner in which A cheated B. And it is illustration B. It should be need not to set out. No, it is wrong. It needs to be set out. And section 213 is what? When manner of committing offence must be stated. Question 131. Under section 389 of CRPC, the trial court can release an accused on bail after conviction where the accused is sentenced with imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years and no fine is imposed whether he is on bail or not. Option 2. When the accused is on bail and he is sentenced with imprisonment for a term not exceeding 5 years and no fine is imposed. Or option 3. The accused is on bail and he is sentenced with imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 years. Or option 4. The accused is on bail and he is sentenced with imprisonment for a term not exceeding 7 years and no fine is imposed. The right answer is option number 3. And what is section 389 of CRPC? It is suspension of sentence pending the appeal, release of an appellant on bail. Come to question number 132. With regard to proceedings under section 125 of CRPC, which of the following preposition is correct? Strict proof of marriage is necessary. Standard of proof is very high as required in the proceeding under Hindu Marriage Act 1955. Prima facie proof showing that the parties are living as husband and wife is sufficient. Right answer is option number 3 only. And it is mentioned where? Under section 125 of CRPC, which talks about what? which talks about order for maintenance of wives, children and parents. Maintenance order of wives, children and parents. So the right answer here is option number 3. Next question is also related to section 125 of CRPC. Question number 133. Period of limitation for execution of the order of maintenance under 125 is how much period? 1 year from the date on which it becomes due. Right answer is option number 1, 1 year. 134. Recording of pre-summoning evidence may be dispensed with under section 200 of CRPC if the complainant is supported by the affidavit of the complainant, if the complaint is made in writing by the public servant in discharge of his official duties, if the complainant is a senior citizen, or all of the above. The right answer is option number 2, if the complaint is made in writing by the public servant. And what does section 200 talks about? Examination of complainant. Next question 135, section 164 of CRPC provides for recording of confession or statements in the course of investigation only, at any time after conclusion of investigation and before commencement of the trial, during investigation, or at any time afterwards before commencement of inquiry or trial, or during investigation, inquiry and trial. Right answer is what? Option number 3, during investigation or at any time afterwards. Mentioned where? 164 of CRPC. And 164 of CRPC talks about what? Recording of confession and statements. Question 136. Under section 260 of CRPC, which of the following offences cannot be tried summarily? Section 260 of CRPC talks about what? Power to try summarily. So which offences cannot be tried as summarily? Option 1, offence of theft where the value of property does not exceed 2000 rupees. Well, it can be tried. Option 2, offence punishable with imprisonment up to 1 year. Yes, it can be tried. Offence under section 454 and 456 of IPC. It can be tried. And option 4, offences punishable with imprisonment exceeding 2 years. Exceeding 2 years, so it cannot be tried summarily. Right answer is option number 4. And what is 454 and 456 of IPC? Well, both these sections are related to criminal trespass. Next is question number 137. Which of the following persons have the right to file an appeal under section 372 of CRPC against an order of acquittal? Victim, victim's guardian, victim's legal heir, or all of the above? It is all of the above. Section 372 of CRPC is what? No appeal to lie unless otherwise provided. It is related to appeals. Next is 138. Which of the following offences cannot be compounded under the provisions of section 320 of CRPC? 320 is what? Compounding of offences. So which cannot be compounded? Option 1, causing miscarriage punishable under section 312 of IPC. Option 2, wrongfully confining a person in secret punishable under 346 IPC. Criminal trespass punishable under 447. Extortion 384. The right answer is what? Option number 4, extortion cannot be compounded. 139. Which of the following statements is incorrect? A court imposing a sentence of a fine while passing judgment order the whole or any part of it to be applied in defraying the expenses of the prosecution. Yes, it is correct. It is basically section 357 of CRPC. 357 is what? Order to pay compensation. Option 2. A court can order compensation for rehabilitation of a victim even if the case ends in acquittal or discharge. Option 3. If the court does not impose a sentence of fine, then it cannot order any compensation to the victim of the offence. Right answer is option number 3. And it is mentioned in this section. Section 357, order to pay compensation. And this particular option is subsection 3. Come to question number 140. A court can stop the proceedings of a case under section 258 CRPC in which of the following cases? In summons cases instituted otherwise than upon police report. Right answer is option number 4, and not on warrant cases. And section 258 talks about what? Power to stop proceeding in certain cases. Now 141, in computing the period of limitation for the purpose of section 468 of CRPC, which of the following period has to be excluded? The time during which the offender has been absent from India, the time during which the offender has avoided his arrest by absconding or concealing himself. Option 3, both of the above or none of the above. Right answer is both of the above are correct, when he was absent and when he was absconding or concealing his presence. And it is mentioned where? Under section 470 of CRPC, and which talks about exclusion of time in certain cases. So both these options are conditions of that. 142, which section of CRPC enacts the rule of autrefois acquit and autrefois convict? Section 300 of CRPC. And what is section 300 of CRPC? Person once convicted or acquitted need not to be tried for the same offence. Acquittal or conviction. Once convicted need not to be tried for the same offence. And what is 302? It is basically permission to conduct prosecution. And what is 303? It is the right of a person against whom the proceedings are instituted to be defended. And 304 is legal aid to the accused at state expense in certain cases. 143. Which of the following statements is correct with regard to the application of section 313 of CRPC? 1. The statement of the accused is recorded on oath. The section does not apply to an inquiry but only on trial. Option 3. That the court may permit filing of written statement by an accused as sufficient compliance of section 313 of CRPC, and all of the above. First of all, what is section 313? It is power to examine the accused. Section 313 is power to examine the accused, and the right answer here is option number 3. The court may permit filing of written statement by an accused as sufficient compliance of section 313 of CRPC. 144. Which of the following statements is incorrect with regard to 319 of CRPC? What is 319? It is power to proceed against other persons appearing to be guilty of the offence. When an additional accused is summoned, proceeding in respect of such person shall be commenced afresh. Right? An accused once discharged can never be summoned under section 319. This one is incorrect because he can be summoned. 145. In the context of section 161 of CRPC, which of the following statements is incorrect? What is 161 of CRPC? It is examination of witnesses by police. Option 1. The statement of a female victim of a sexual offence can be recorded only by a women police officer. Yes, it is correct. The option 2. The person so examined shall be bound to answer truly to all questions relating to the case put to him by the police officer other than the questions or the answer to which would have a tendency to expose him to a criminal charge. Option 3. The police officer has to record the statement and get it signed by the person so examined, and all of the above. Right answer is the police officer has to record the statement and get it signed by the person so examined. This one is incorrect statement. And why it is incorrect? See section 161 subsection 3. It says that the police officer may reduce into writing any statement made to him in the course of an examination under this section, and if he does so there is no condition to it. He may reduce it into writing. Next, 146. The magistrate has the power to issue commission for examination of witnesses in a prison under which section of CRPC? Which section? It is section number 271. Right answer is option number 2, 271. And what is 271? Power to issue commission for examination of witnesses in prison. And what is 270? It is prisoner to be brought in to court in custody. And 272 is what? Languages of the court. And 273 is evidence to be taken in presence of the accused. 147. X files a private complaint in the court of the magistrate. During the course of inquiry, it transpires that the police is also investigating into the same subject matter. The magistrate in such a case shall do what? Shall whether continue with the complaint case and record the statement of the witnesses, or option 2, call for the report from the police officer. Option 3, stay the proceedings of such inquiry or trial and call for the report on the matter from the police officer conducting the investigation, or option 4, dismiss the complaint. Right answer is option number 3, stay the proceedings. And which sections talk about that? Section 210 of CRPC. 148. A magistrate to whom a complaint is made under section 340 or 341 of CRPC shall deal with the same as if it were a complaint case, or if it were a warrant case, or shall deal with the same as far as it may be as if it were instituted on a police report or it were a summons case. How should he deal with it? Right answer is option number 3, instituted on a police report, and it is mentioned where? Section 343 of CRPC. There it is written. 149. A magistrate at the time of delivery of judgment returns a finding that the witness X had knowingly given false evidence, intending that such evidence should be used in such proceedings as evidence, and the magistrate is satisfied that if it is necessary and expedient in the interest of justice that X should be tried for doing so. In such a case, the magistrate may convict the person without affording him any further opportunity, or option 2, the magistrate may take cognizance of the offence and after giving a reasonable opportunity of showing a case, convict him, or may make a complaint under section 340 of for the offence. Right answer is option number 2 only, and it is which section? Section 344 of CRPC. 150. Which out of the following is an irregularity, which even if committed by a magistrate not empowered by the law to do so, but done erroneously in good faith, does not vitiate his proceedings or render the same to be set aside merely on the ground of his not being so empowered? See section 460 of CRPC, especially H. So the right answer is to recall a case and try it himself under section 410. Question number 151. A suit was filed and disposed of by the court which had no pecuniary jurisdiction to try it. The judgment and decree became final whether the findings recorded in it operate as res judicata in a subsequent suit between the same parties. Yes. And it is what? Section 11 of CPC. Exception 8. It will be operated as res judicata. 152. A sues for possession of Mutt property as an heir of Mahant. The suit is dismissed on his failure to produce the succession certificate. A files subsequent suit as manager of the Mutt. The second suit will be barred by res judicata, will not be barred, or a second suit is liable to be stayed, or none of the above. The second suit will not be barred by res judicata. 153. An application for a review of judgment, section 114 of CPC, would lie only when the applicant has accepted the judgment. The applicant gives an undertaking to the court to accept the judgment. An appeal lies against the judgment and has been preferred. Or option 4. An appeal lies against the judgment but has not been preferred. Answer option number 4. Appeal lies against the judgment but has not been preferred. 154. Ramlal and Company, a sole proprietary of Ramlal, files a suit against X for recovery of money. X files a counterclaim in the said suit for recovery of money owed by Shamlal and Company, a sole proprietary of Shamlal, son of Ramlal. The issues will be framed in the suit and counterclaim. Shamlal will be impleaded as plaintiff in the suit. Shamlal will be impleaded as defendant, or the counterclaim will be returned. Right answer is option number 4. Counterclaim will be returned. And it is what? Counterclaim is mentioned in order 8, rule 6A of CPC. 155. Limitation for substitution of legal representatives of a judgment debtor in execution proceeding is substitution of legal representatives. Order 22 CPC. Read with Article 120 of Limitation Act. So the right answer is what? None of the above. Come to next question. 156. Non-substitution of legal representatives of either party to the suit who dies between the conclusion of hearing and pronouncement of judgment renders the judgment a nullity, renders the judgment liable to be set aside in appeal, renders the judgment nullity only at the option of other party, or has no consequences. It has no consequences, and it is mentioned under where? Under order 22 rule 6 of CPC. 157. Issues under the CPC means material proposition of the fact affirmed by plaintiff and denied by the defendant. Material proposition of fact affirmed by defendant and denied by plaintiff. Option 3. Every proposition of a fact and law affirmed by one party and denied by other, or material proposition of fact or law affirmed by one party and denied by the other. Right answer is option number 4. Material proposition of a fact or law affirmed by one party and denied by the other. And it is, issues are where? Order 14 rule 1. Question number 158. Service of summons of a civil suit on the defendant thereto can be ordered by publication in a newspaper when the plaintiff is willing to bear the costs thereof. Option 2. The defendant stays outside the territorial jurisdiction of the court. Option 3. The defendant is avoiding service or cannot be served in ordinary way. Or option 4. The plaintiff fails to take steps for service of the defendant. The right answer is option 3. The defendant is avoiding service or cannot be served in ordinary way. And it is mentioned where? Under order 5 rule 20 of CPC. 159. If a party to a suit who has obtained an order to amend in its pleadings fails to amend accordingly, if the party is plaintiff, the suit has to be dismissed, and if the party is defendant, the written statement is to be taken off the record. Option 2. The right to amend has to be closed. Option 3. The right to lead evidence in support of the amendment has to be closed. Option 4. The right to amend has to be closed, but that party can file another application seeking that amendment. Right answer is option number 2. The right to amend has to be closed. Order 6. Pleadings rule 18 of CPC. 160. X files a suit against his sister Y seeking partition of properties of their parents. Y in her written statement admits the shares of X and Y in the properties as pleaded by X. The court should do what? Frame issues and direct evidence to be led, direct admission denial of the documents, pass judgment forthwith, direct the parties to enter into compromise, pass judgment forthwith. And it is order 12 rule 6 of CPC. 161. An order of dismissal in default of a suit for non-appearance of a plaintiff or his advocate is What? Not subject to any of the above. It is not appealable, revisable or reviewable. It is order number 9, rule 9 of CPC. It is none of the above. 162. A dies leaving 2 sons and 2 daughters. You can read out the whole question. I am coming to the options part. The court will dismiss the suit, stay further proceedings in the suit, frame issues in the suit and relegate the parties to lead evidence on all the matters in the issue including the validity of the will. Option 4. Frame issues in the suit and relegate the parties to lead evidence but no issue will be framed with respect to the will of A because judgment of the court in earlier suit between the 2 sons is a judgment in rem. Right answer is option number 3. Frame issues in the suit and relegate the parties to lead evidence on all matters in issues including the validity of the will. 163. Notice under section 80 of CPC is required for filing suit against a public sector undertaking and a statutory body. Option 2. A public 100% of shares of which are held by the government or against a public officer. Both option 1 and 2 or neither option 1 and 2. It is neither of 1 or 2. Why? Because section 80 of CPC notice to an government body is not required. So, and these both are government bodies. So it is not required. 164. For non-compliance of section 80 of the CPC, the suit is to be dismissed on the first day the suit is to be admitted, but summons have to be issued on of a date after 2 months. The plaint is to be returned or costs have to be imposed. Right answer is option number 3. The plaint is to be returned. Question number 165. A, B, C, D and E are jointly and severally liable for rupees 2,53,000 under a decree obtained by F. A obtains a decree of 4 rupees 2 lakh against F singly and applies for execution to the court in which the joint decree is being executed. The court has to. Right answer is option number 1 only. That if F opts to treat his joint decree against A, B, C, D and E as a cross decree, record satisfaction to the extent of rupees 2 lakh of joint decree and for rupees 2,53,000 and proceed with the execution only of the decree in favor of F, remaining 53,000 against A, B, C, D and E. It is order 21, rule 18 and it is basically illustration of that. Illustration D. 166. Wife obtains a decree for restitution of conjugal rights against the husband. The husband fails to comply with the decree. The court in execution will do what? May direct the husband to make periodical payments as may be fixed to be made to the wife and recover the said monies as under the decree for recovery of money. Order 21, rule 33 of CPC. Question 167. A decree for recovery of money is executable by detention of judgment debtor in civil prison. Right answer option number 2. If the judgment debtor, despite having means to satisfy the decree, has arranged his affairs in such a manner as to defeat and delay the execution of decree. Section 51 of CPC. A decree for recovery of money. Next question 168. B, a bank under a scheme for grant of educational loan to females grants a loan of rupees 2 lakh to A. A fails to repay the loan and B files a suit for recovery thereof. During the pendency of suit, A is married. B does not take any steps within the prescribed time to substitute the maiden name of A with the married name of A in the suit. The suit is decided in favor of B and against A in her maiden name. Now, option 1, the suit abates and decree is a nullity. Option 2, the suit does not abate but the decree against A in her maiden name cannot be executed. Option 3, the decree can be executed against the husband of A also. Option 4, the decree may be executed against A in her married name. Obviously in her married name, and it is mentioned under order 22, rule 7 of CPC. Okay. 169. A person who does not have sufficient means to pay the court fees on a suit of recovery of money for which the cause of action has accrued to him cannot file the suit, can file suit by furnishing a bank guarantee, can file suit by furnishing affidavit to pay court fees out of the decretal amount, or option 4, can file the suit by establishing before the court that he is not possessed of sufficient means to pay the court fees. Option number 4, and it is mentioned where? Order number 33 of CPC. Question 170. The civil court can grant injunction without issuing notice to the defendant in all cases or only if the object of granting injunction would be defeated by delay and after recording of the reasons therefore. The answer is option number 2, and it is injunctions, and it is mentioned in the proviso to the order 39, rule 3 of CPC. 171. Upon grant of an ex parte injunction, again order 39, The plaintiff has to comply with the proviso to the order 39 rule 3 of CPC by filing an affidavit within how much time? Within 7 days from the date on which injunction is granted, or within 3 days, or option 3, on the day on which the injunction is granted, or on the day immediately following that day. Option 3 is the right answer, and it is mentioned in order 39 rule 3 only. 172. If after the services of the summon the defendant appears but does not file the written statement within the prescribed time and right to file written statement is closed, then what will the court do? The court has to proceed against the defendant ex parte, or option 2, the court may pronounce the judgment against the defendant without requiring evidence from the plaintiff. Option 3, the court has to necessarily require the plaintiff to prove its case by leading evidence with the defendant having no opportunity to cross-examine the witnesses of the plaintiff. Or option 4, the court has to necessarily require the plaintiff to prove its case by leading evidence and provide an opportunity to the defendant to cross-examine the plaintiff and its witness on his defense. Right answer is option 2 only, that the court may pronounce the judgment against the defendant without requiring any evidence from the plaintiff, and it is mentioned under order 8 rule 10 of CPC. 173. On service of summons under rule 2 of 37 of CPC, the defendant has to do what? Within 10 days of the service, and enter an appearance and file in the court an address for service of notice to him. Right answer is option number 1, so no need to read out other options, and it is mentioned under rule 3 of order 37. Question 174. In a suit for partition instituted on 5th July 2000, recording of evidences has commenced. An application dated on 9 July 2018 of the plaintiff to amend the plaint lies and shall be allowed if the amendment is necessary for the purpose of determining the real question in controversy between the parties and on such terms as may be just. Or option 2, lies and shall be allowed if the amendments are necessary for the purpose of determining the real question of controversy between the parties, and shall not be allowed unless the court comes to the conclusion that in spite of due diligence the plaintiff could not have raised the matter before the commencement of trial. Option 2 is the right answer. Okay, and it is order 6 rule 17. Question number 175. In execution of a decree for maintenance, salary of judgment debtor who is a manager in a bank can be attached to the extent of how much? 2/3. Section 60 of CPC. 176. If due to default of appearance of the plaintiff a suit has been dismissed, then the plaintiff cannot file a new suit for the same claim. Right answer is option number 1 only, and it is mentioned under order 9 rule 9 of CPC. 177. Where local limits of jurisdiction of court are uncertain, the place of institution of suit shall be according to section 18 of CPC. Next is question 178. The rule of constructive res judicata is option A, a product of judicial interpretation, a rule of equity. Option 3, contained expressly in CPC. Option 4, a part of Supreme Court rules. Well, it is contained expressly in CPC, and in CPC where section 11 talks about res judicata, right? And its explanation 4 talks about constructive res judicata. 179. On default of appearance of the plaintiff on the date fixed for framing of issues in a suit for recovery of 2,90,000, where the defendant has in a written statement admitted a liability in the sum of rupees 1,25,000, the court shall do what? Option 1. Decree the suit against the defendant in the sum of 1,25,000 and dismiss the suit for the recovery of the remaining amount. Correct? Right answer option number 1, and it is what? Order 9, Rule 8 of CPC. Question 180. In a suit, the plaintiff himself wishes to appear as a witness without any permission of the court. He may so appear. Option 1. At any time before evidence of the plaintiff is over. Or option 2. Only before any other witness on the behalf of the plaintiff has been examined. Or option 3. At any time before the evidence of the defendant is over. Or option 4. At any time before the arguments are heard. Right answer? Option number 2. Only before any other witness on behalf of plaintiff has been examined. And it is Order 38, Rule 3A. 181. The amount which a civil judge can order to be paid as compensatory cost in respect of a false vexatious claim or defense shall not exceed how much amount? 3,000. Option 2. 3,000 or the limit of pecuniary jurisdiction of the civil judge, whichever is less. And it is what? Mentioned where? Section 35A of CPC. 182. Under section 148 of CPC, the court has the power to enlarge time by how much period? Not exceeding 30 days in total. Section 148. Option 1 is the right answer. 183. The caveat under section 148A of CPC remains in force for a period of how much time? 90 days. Option 1, right answer. Mentioned in 148A only. 184. An argument entered into or a compromise by a next friend or guardian for the suit on behalf of a minor with reference to the suit in which he acts as a next friend or guardian without the leave of the court is what? Voidable against all the parties other than the minor. Option 1 is the right answer and mentioned in Order 32, Rule 7, Sub Rule 2 of CPC. Question number 185. A fresh suit on same cause of action is not barred. When the plaintiff in the earlier suit has been rejected under Order 7, Rule 11 of CPC, which is rejection of plaint. Or option 2, the earlier suit has been dismissed owing to the failure to take steps for the service of the defendant. Option 3, the earlier suit has been dismissed owing to neither party appearing when the suit is called for hearing. Option 4, all of the above. Right answer is all of the above. This one is what? Rejected where? Under Rule 11, Order 7, and the earlier suit has been dismissed. Here is Order 9, Rule 4, and this one is Order 9, Rule 4. So all of the above is the right answer. Question number 186. Order 37 of the CPC applies to suit upon the bills of exchange, hundis, promissory notes, and suits in which the plaintiff seeks only to recover a debt or liquidated demand in money payable by the defendant arising on a written contract or an enactment or a guarantee. Option 2, upon the bills of exchange, right, hundis, promissory notes, and suits in which the plaintiff seeks only to recover debt or liquidated demand in money payable by the defendant arising on a written contract or on an enactment or guarantee or for recovery of receivables instituted by assignee of a receivable. Right answer is option number 2. 187. Where the appeal preferred against a decree passed ex parte has been withdrawn, an application under Order 9, Rule 13 of CPC shall lie. Option 1, right answer. 188. Where a suit is withdrawn by the plaintiff under Order 23, Rule 1 of CPC, then any of the defendants thereto can apply to be transposed as plaintiff only if he satisfies the court that the conditions of Order 1, Rule 10 of CPC, and further that the said defendant has a substantial question to be decided against any of the other defendants. Option 3, right answer. Well, this is mentioned where? Under Order 23, Rule 1A of CPC. 189. The plaintiff in a suit, onus of all the issues framed wherein is on plaintiff during the cross-examination of the defendant and his witnesses, produces document not filed earlier and not executed by the defendant or his witnesses, and puts to the defendant and his witnesses the said documents. The said documents are not admitted or acknowledged by the defendant and or his witnesses and are not admitted into evidence, though remain on record. It is what? Basically Order 13 of CPC, and according to that order, right answer is option number 2, that the plaintiff is not entitled to lead evidence in proof of the said documents which the plaintiff had failed to produce within the prescribed period. Question 190. Who can appoint arbitrator pursuant to an arbitration agreement of reference of dispute to a sole arbitrator? Option 1, the parties to the arbitration agreement or the person, body, if any mentioned in the arbitration agreement. Option 2, the court or any person or institution designated by such court. Option 3, Chief Justice of High Court or Supreme Court as the case may be. Or option 4, both 1 and 2. The right answer is option 4, both 1 and 2. And it is what? Mentioned where? Section 11 of Arbitration Act. 191. An arbitral award pursuant to arbitration agreement dated on 1st November 2015 can be set aside under which section? Section 34 of Arbitration and Conciliation Act. Next is question 192. The court is empowered to grant interim measures after taking of an arbitral award, but before it is enforced under section 9 of Arbitration and Conciliation. Right answer is option number 1 only. It is the correct statement, right? Next, question number 193. A Hindu wife files a petition against her husband for dissolution of marriage by a decree of divorce. Immediately after the service of summons of the petition and before the filing of the written statement, the defendant files an application under section 8 of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act for the reference to arbitration in accordance with the arbitration clause in a settlement. agreement signed by the part when on an earlier occasion the police complaints were made against each other. The wife admits that the arbitration agreement, which encompasses all the disputes and differences all of any kind between the parties, the court shall do what? Here the right answer is option 2, dismiss the application and proceed with the petition. Now the reason for not allowing arbitration in divorce petition is that there are certain categories which are not arbitral. For example, IPR, antitrust, anti-competitive, insolvency, winding up, bribery, corruption, fraud, criminal matter. And here in the question it is mentioned that pursuant to police complaint they entered into arbitral agreement. So when the matter involving a criminal law, then how can there be an arbitration agreement? There cannot be an arbitration agreement. Arbitration agreement, which is mentioned in section 7, basically is for what? Commercial matters. So here the application will be dismissed. Question 194. In a suit for specific performance of an agreement of sale of immovable property, the defendant along with his written statement files an application under section 8 of Arbitration and Conciliation Act for referring the parties to arbitration in accordance with the clause contained in the agreement to sell. The plaintiff admits the existence of arbitration clause as well as that subject matter of the suit is the subject matter of arbitration clause. The court shall do what? Here the court shall allow the application and refer the parties to arbitration. Now question number 195. A financial institution institutes a suit repossession of a vehicle subject matter of hire purchase agreement with the defendant and for recovery of hire charges. The hire purchase agreement produced by the plaintiff along with the plaint contains an arbitration clause for reference of such claims to arbitration of a reputed named advocate. The court shall do what? It shall issue the summons of the suit. Right answer is option number 3. Comes to next question 196. On allowing of an application under section 8 of Arbitration Act, the suit shall stands disposed of. Right answer option number 1. Question 197. An arbitration agreement dated 1st December 2018 provides for reference of disputes to 4 arbitrators with 2 to be appointed by each of the parties, and the arbitration agreement is what? Is to be construed as being of a reference of disputes to the sole arbitrator, and it is mentioned where? Section 10 subsection 2 of the Arbitration Act. 198. The delay of 105 days beyond the prescribed time in applying for setting aside of arbitral award pursuant to arbitration agreement dated on 1st November 2017 is condonable under section 5 of Limitation Act, is not condonable, is condonable under Arbitration Act, or is condonable under section 5 of Limitation Act. Read with Arbitration Act. Well, it is not condonable. Answer is option number 2. 199. A suit to challenge appointment of a person as an arbitrator by the defendant on the ground that circumstances give rise to justifiable doubt as to the independence or impartiality by seeking a decree of declaration of such appointment as null and void and of permanent injunction restraining arbitration proceeding is what? Whether it is maintainable or not maintainable. It is not maintainable. Option number 2. And it is section 12. Read with section 13 of Arbitration Act. Now last question. Question 200. An appeal against an order allowing an application under section 8 of Arbitration and Conciliation Act whether lies or doesn't lie. It does not lie. Right answer is option number 2. So well, with this all our 200 questions are completed. In case of any doubt you can always ask in the comment section. And if you like this video then please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much.